Welcome to Business Legal Lifecycle TV, the live TV show all about the legal aspects of your business. We've designed this TV show to educate you in simple to understand plain English ways for complex legal terms, to help you understand why you undertake certain legal aspects of your business, and to help you develop a plan for the future success of your business. Did you know that any business owner is on average 7 months away from losing everything? And that is the average time that it takes for a successful business to fold when an aspect of their business is not set up correctly. Have you ever wanted to get legal advice but didn't understand what was going on? And do you feel like there's a divide between lawyers and their clients? If that's so, then this TV show is for you. We've designed the show to empower you and your business with the knowledge and tools to help ensure that those problems that so many businesses encounter don't happen to you. Business Legal Lifecycle TV delivers a twice-weekly show focusing on the legal aspects of your business. At lunchtime on Mondays, we present Fast Fix Monday, a quick 5 to 10 minute show to give you some actionable steps to consider for this week in your business. And at lunchtime on Wednesdays, we present our in-depth show. It's generally between 30 minutes to an hour to go through the complicated legal aspects of your business in a simple to understand and plain English way. That can be through educational pieces or interviews with experts in the fields. We welcome you to Business Legal Lifecycle TV, and here's our show.
Afternoon everyone, and welcome to Fast Fix Monday. Today we're going to talk about some tips, top 3 tips about expanding your business. Now, I should have introduced myself. I'm Craig Mason, one of the founders of Business Legal Lifecycle, and I've also got here...
And I'm Jeremy Stretton, the other founder of the Business Legal Lifecycle. Thanks everyone for watching or listening on the podcast.
So as I said, top 3 tips in expanding your business. So this month, the month of November 2017, we're focusing on that phase of the business about expanding, franchising, those sorts of things. So we're going to give some tips today. Hopefully you get some value out of it. If you've got any questions or any comments, please make those on Facebook or send us an email, whatever it might be, because we encourage some involvement from our listeners or viewers. So starting with the first tip, Jeremy, what have you got?
Yeah, so the first one is planning. Now, that might seem boring, but planning is essential to anything that you're doing in your business. And when you're expanding, it's pretty much everything. If you haven't planned, then you're going to fall foul of what so many other business owners have done when they've expanded and they haven't planned properly. So what are we talking about planning? So that can be everything from planning out what you actually are going to do in the other business, how your 2 premises or multiple premises, if you've got 5 or 6 or even 50, how they're going to work together. And also planning whether or not the expansion is going to work. So an example might be that you might have a coffee shop, and you might decide, look, we've got a coffee shop, it's in, say, the Caboolture area in Queensland, and it's doing really well, and you decide, I know, I'm going to move it and expand to, say, Redcliffe, which is, to anyone who's not in Brisbane, another suburb in the Brisbane area. You need to do your research and plan to see that you're actually going to have the right clients in that area. So planning out and making sure that you're going to make some money is really important to actually having that in place. So I can't stress that enough. I know we talk about that a lot in the Business Legal Lifecycle, but that's because success leaves clues. And if you don't plan, then that's really where you're going to cause yourself a bunch of problems going forward. So that's number 1. Craig, number 2.
Yeah. So flowing from planning, the next tip is to sort out any problems that you've got in your business at the moment. So any problems that you have when you expand, they are going to multiply. If you've got sort of cash flow issues and you're expanding, you're going to be moving into larger premises or whatever it might be, then there's going to be more cash that's coming out. And if you've got cash flow issues, then obviously that's going to be multiplied if you're expanding. So get that into order. If you've got systems in place, you need to make sure they're working well, the sales funnel, all those sorts of things, because getting those in order before you expand will obviously mean that the expansion will hopefully go as smoothly as possible, provided you've got the plan in place in the first place. That's per tip 1. and you get to that point. So you want to get all your systems, cash flow, everything in your business sort of working along nicely, and you know that you're in a position to expand. So the second tip is to look at those sorts of things while you're, I guess it sort of forms part of your plan, doesn't it? It's probably step one.
Yep.
Look at these sorts of things and make sure your business is in that point. And if you have followed the business legal life cycle along the way, then you get to this phase and you should have everything in order. So that's tip number 2.
Great. And the third tip revolves around your staff and your employees. Now, if you're expanding your business, it's very likely that you're going to need additional employees or additional staff. Now, when you bring in additional staff in any business, it doesn't matter whether or not you're a business that's been operating for a month, 6 months, or 50 years, you're going to have issues with different people in the business because everyone's got a different personality. So you need to have a think about what you're actually bringing in and who you're bringing into your business, because at the end of the day, especially if you've got multiple locations, the employees are the ones who are going to be doing the work for your clients or your customers, and so you need to make sure that you like, know and trust them. The second thing to think about is the difference between employees and contractors. So in phase 4 of the business legal life cycle, we talk about bringing on employees, could be bringing on staff as well because it includes contractors. So you need to have a think about, who are your employees or your contractors, and what's the difference? Because often, if you've gone through the business legal life cycle, as Craig said before, you may have had employees or you may have had contractors, and then if you're deciding to expand, you might decide to go the other way and have the other type of employee or contractor. So you need to make sure that you've considered those things properly, and also remember that if you have got multiple locations for your business, it's really important that those multiple locations actually work together. It's not a good idea to have multiple locations that are in competition against each other. A lot of the great franchises bring their staff together, or at least their management staff together on a regular basis. And that what that helps to do is to make sure that there's no us versus them. People these days, employees, young people especially, they want to be part of something that has a purpose, that has a goal, and that where people work together and work together nicely. So you don't want to have an environment where there's a lot of competition. I know there's a lot of business owners out there who think that competition amongst their staff is a good thing. I don't think so. I think it's better to basically work together and to build a successful team based on the people that you have around you. So that's tip number 3. Craig.
Yeah, excellent. And just going from what Jerry was saying, communication in that sort of area is really key, because you've got 2 locations, how everyone talks to each other and the system in place with that obviously goes a long way to making sure you've got a successful expansion. So definitely employees, one that you need to look at, should form part of your plan. Obviously, if you've got problems with employees, then tip number 2 is going to come up as well. So, all right, so there are top 3 tips for expanding your business. We'll be back on Wednesday to expanding your business, and we're going to talk about franchises. So join us on Wednesday. We look forward to seeing you then.
See you on Wednesday.
Bye.